In this episode of the podcast, we will dive into one of the important episodes in functional nutrition.
Mix are already offering these personalized diet and exercise plans
Wow.
based on genetic testing. And these tests analyze specific markers in your DNA
Okay.
related to things like your metabolism, how well you absorb certain nutrients,
Okay.
and even your body's response to different types of exercise.
It's really like having a personalized instruction manual.
Right.
But I'm curious, how accurate and reliable are these manuals?
That's a great question, and there are certainly voices of caution out there.
Okay.
Some medical professionals, like CBS News contributor Dr. David Agus,
Okay.
have raised concerns about the validation and regulation of these tests.
So while it's a promising field, we need to approach it with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Right,
Make sure the science is solid.
for sure.
But if these tests do prove to be reliable, what kind of insights can they actually provide?
So one key area they focus on is a process called methylation. And you can almost imagine methylation as a series of tiny gears in your body
Okay.
that are ensuring that your nutrients are converted into usable fuel for your cells.
Okay.
It's a fundamental process that impacts everything from energy production to detoxification.
So methylation is kind of like the behind-the-scenes crew,
Right.
making sure our bodies are running smoothly.
Exactly.
But what happens when these gears get jammed?
Well, there's a gene called MTHFR, and variations in this gene are surprisingly common, affecting about 44% of the population.
Wow.
And while it doesn't guarantee health issues, it can sometimes lead to what we call less than optimal methylation.
And what are the implications then of suboptimal methylation?
Right.
What kind of health issues could potentially arise?
Well, the range is pretty broad. It can vary from person to person.
Okay.
We're talking about things like mood disorders, sleep problems, digestive issues,
Okay.
and even things like chronic fatigue.
So that's a pretty significant list.
Yeah.
So how do we even know if our methylation isn't functioning as well as it could be?
Yeah.
Is there a way to test for that?
Absolutely. So Gary Brecka, who is a human biologist,
Okay.
but actually has a background in analyzing life insurance data,
Interesting.
has become a really prominent voice in the field of personalized wellness. And he's a big proponent of using data, including genetic testing and blood work,
Right.
to get a clearer picture of our health.
Life insurance data. That's a really interesting background for someone promoting personalized wellness. What exactly does he bring to the table?
Well, Brecka spent years analyzing thousands of genetic tests and blood work results.
Okay.
And he started to notice these patterns.
Okay.
And he observed that addressing methylation deficiencies, often through targeted supplements, could have this ripple effect, improving a variety of health conditions.
So he's like a health detective using data to uncover
Right.
hidden connections
Exactly.
and create personalized solutions.
Totally.
Did he have any specific insights that really stood out to you?
Well, one thing Brecka challenges is conventional wisdom.
Okay.
For example, he questions the blanket recommendation to avoid salt,
Oh, interesting.
suggesting that for some individuals, particularly those with certain genetic variations
Okay.
and low sodium levels, a moderate amount of salt might be beneficial.
Wow.
He even points to studies showing a potential link between low sodium
Okay.
and increased migraines in certain individuals.
So what we consider healthy
Right.
might actually vary from person to person based on our genes.
Exactly.
Are there any other examples of Brecka's data-driven insights that might challenge these common beliefs?
Well, Brecka also emphasizes that we're not necessarily born broken.
Okay.
He believes that a lot of health issues actually stem from our bodies not functioning optimally
Okay.
due to deficiencies.
Okay.
And those deficiencies can often be addressed.
So it's about fine-tuning our systems
Yeah.
rather than viewing ourselves as inherently flawed.
Exactly.
How does this relate to personalized nutrition and the DNA tests we were discussing earlier?
Well, it all ties together. Brecka believes that by understanding your unique genetic makeup, you can identify these potential areas where your body might not be processing nutrients efficiently.
Okay.
This information can then be used to create a tailored plan
Okay.
that includes specific food supplements and lifestyle changes to address those deficiencies.
So it's a targeted approach instead of just taking a random assortment of vitamins, hoping for the best.
Exactly.
But as with any new field, I imagine there are also arguments against relying on DNA-based nutrition plans.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. So Professor Tim Spector, who's been studying genetics for decades,
Okay.
emphasizes the incredible complexity of our genes.
Mm-hmm.
He points out that our current understanding of how they interact with each other and our environment
Yeah.
is still limited.
Yeah.
And he believes that simply looking at a handful of genes might not provide the full picture when it comes to making personalized dietary recommendations.
It sounds like we're still in the early stages of understanding this complex interplay
We are.
between genes, diet, and health.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why it's important to be cautious and not jump to conclusions based solely on your DNA test results.
Right.
It's just one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
And it needs to be considered in the context of your overall health history, your lifestyle, and individual needs.
It's all about context.
It is.
It sounds like we need kind of like a balanced approach here,
Right.
acknowledging the potential of DNA testing while also recognizing its limitations
Yeah.
and remembering the importance of, our environment and lifestyle choices.
Precisely.
Right.
It's not about viewing DNA as destiny,
Right.
but rather as like a roadmap that can
Mhm.
guide us towards making more informed decisions about our health.
And speaking of informed decisions, there's also this whole question of accessibility,
Yeah.
Who actually has access to these tests and
Right.
can everyone benefit from them?
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
We need to ensure that these advancements don't
Yeah.
further exacerbate health disparities.
Right.
It's important to consider the cost of these tests.
Right.
And whether they're covered by insurance.
Mhm.
We also need to ensure people have access to qualified healthcare professionals who can help them interpret the results
Right.
and create these personalized plans.
So it's not just about the technology itself, but also about equitable access
Right.
and responsible application of this knowledge.
Exactly.
But amidst all these complexities and cautions,
Yeah.
are there any real world stories that demonstrate the potential benefits
Oh, sure.
of this personalized approach?
Definitely. There are actually quite a few stories that highlight how these DNA insights can lead to positive changes.
Okay.
Remember Rebecca Cassell, the woman who struggled with chronic stomach pain for years?
Oh, yeah. I think I remember hearing about her case.
Yeah.
Didn't she finally find relief after taking a DNA test?
Yes, after countless doctor visits and trying various dietary changes.
Yeah.
With no improvement, she finally decided to try a DNA metabolic test. And it revealed she had a starch allergy, something that had been completely missed by traditional testing.
So the DNA test provided this missing piece of the puzzle
Exactly.
that traditional methods hadn't uncovered.
Right. When she eliminated starch from her diet, her stomach pain finally vanished.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a really powerful example of how this personalized information can lead to breakthroughs.
It is.
Are there other examples of people whose lives were positively impacted by DNA-guided choices?
Absolutely. So Andrew Steele, a Team GB Olympic athlete,
Okay.
actually credits DNA-guided training for boosting his performance.
Oh, wow.
After failing to qualify for the London 2012 Olympics,
Okay.
his DNA results revealed he had a unique mix of power and endurance responses.
Oh, interesting.
So instead of following a generic training program, he was able to tailor his workouts to his specific genetic predispositions.
So he was working with his body and not against it.
Exactly. And this allowed him to optimize his training regimen and ultimately achieve greater success in his sport.
That's fantastic. And what about Gary Brecka himself?
Well-
His journey from life insurance analysis to personalized wellness
Right.
is quite a testament to the power of this approach.
It really is. He's not just an advocate for personalized wellness. He's living proof of its potential.
Right.
He's used this knowledge to improve his own health
Mm-hmm.
and is so passionate about helping others do the same.
It's always more impactful when someone is personally invested
Right.
in the message they're sharing.
Right.
And Brecka goes beyond just the physical aspects of health,
Right.
emphasizing the importance of community and purpose and overall well-being.
He does. He draws upon his experience with life insurance data
Yeah.
and insights from Blue Zones research. Those regions around the world known for longevity and vitality.
Right.
He even shared a personal anecdote about how his social circle shrunk after achieving professional success,
Oh, wow.
highlighting the need for intentional efforts to maintain those meaningful connections.
It's easy to let those things slip
It is.
when you're so focused on your career.
For sure.
It's a good reminder that success isn't just about material wealth or career achievements,
Right.
but also about nurturing, fulfilling relationships and having a sense of belonging.
Exactly.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
The science behind nutrigenomics, the potential benefits and limitations of DNA testing, and the importance of a holistic approach to health
Right.
that considers all aspects of our lives.
Yeah.
So what's the key takeaway for our listeners should they rush out and get their DNA tested?
That's a personal decision,
Yeah.
and one that should be made with careful consideration of both the potential upsides
Right.
and the current limitations.
Yeah.
We're still in the early stages of understanding how to effectively apply these genetic insights.
It's like any new frontier.
It is.
Exciting possibilities, but also a need for caution and critical thinking.
Exactly. However, it doesn't mean we should shy away from exploring the potential.
Right.
We've seen how personalized nutrition, guided by genetic insights, could revolutionize the way we manage our health, optimize performance, and even potentially extend our lifespans.
It's almost like we're on the cusp of a new era in health and wellness.
Right.
One where we can move beyond generic advice and tap into our individual blueprints for thriving.
But it's crucial to approach this field with a discerning eye.
Okay.
Understanding that our knowledge of nutrigenomics is still evolving. We need to be savvy consumers of information,
Right.
differentiating between hype and solid evidence.
And remember, DNA isn't destiny.
Right.
While your genes provide this blueprint, your lifestyle choices, your diet, exercise, sleep, stress management, social connections play a massive role in shaping your overall health outcomes.
It's a collaborative effort between your genes and your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Think of it like a hand of cards. We may not get to choose the cards we're dealt,
Right.
but we can certainly influence how we play the game.
That's a great analogy. So it's not a free pass to eat whatever you want,
No,
just because your genes might suggest you can handle it.
not at all. It's about working with our bodies, not against them. Understanding our genetic predispositions can help us make more informed choices.
Yeah.
But it's still up to us to cultivate healthy habits.
And just like in any game, having a skilled coach or guide can make a big difference.
Right.
In this case, that would be a qualified healthcare professional who understands nutrigenomics
Exactly.
and can help you interpret your DNA results and develop a personalized plan that aligns with your individual needs and goals.
Exactly. It's not about replacing traditional medicine, but rather complementing it with personalized insights.
So it's not like a quick fix or a magic bullet.
Right.
It's just another tool in our health and wellness toolkit.
Exactly.
And personalized nutrition isn't just about fancy DNA tests.
Right.
It can start with simple self-awareness,
For sure.
paying attention to how your body responds to different foods, noticing energy levels, digestion, mood changes,
Yeah.
and other subtle cues that can provide valuable clues about your individual needs.
It's about becoming a detective of your own body,
Yep.
tuning into its signals, and making choices that support your unique requirements.
Like that.
And don't underestimate the power of traditional wisdom.
Right.
Many cultures have long-held dietary practices
Yeah.
based on generations of observation and experience.
Right.
While not everything will be relevant to your individual needs,
Right.
there's often a lot of wisdom to be gleaned from these ancestral approaches to food and health.
So it's about blending that ancient wisdom with modern science,
Exactly.
honoring both the traditional and the cutting edge.
Yeah.
And we focus a lot on nutrition, but this personalized approach also extends to fitness, right?
Absolutely.
Like the example of Andrew Steele using DNA insights to optimize his training regimen.
Personalized fitness is another exciting area where DNA testing can provide valuable insights.
Okay.
By understanding your genetic predispositions for power versus endurance, muscle fiber type, and recovery rate,
Okay.
you can tailor your workouts for maximum effectiveness and minimize the risk of injury.
So instead of blindly following the latest fitness trends,
Right.
we can work with our bodies and not against them.
Exactly. It's about working smarter, not necessarily harder,
Right.
and aligning your training with your unique genetic blueprint.
This is all incredibly fascinating, you know?
It is.
It seems like we've only just scratched the surface of what's possible when it comes to personalized health and wellness.
We have. And who knows what the future holds.
Right.
As our understanding of genetics and nutrigenomics continues to grow, we can expect even more sophisticated tools and insights to emerge,
Yeah.
allowing us to fine-tune our health and well-being in ways we can only imagine today.
It's a really exciting time to be alive.
It is.
But before we get carried away with these futuristic visions,
Yeah.
let's bring it back to the present.
Okay.
What's the main takeaway here for our listeners?
Right.
What can they do today to start incorporating some of these principles into their lives?
I'd say the most important takeaway is empowerment. Understanding your unique genetic makeup is another tool in your health and wellness toolkit. Just like any tool, it's most effective when used thoughtfully and in conjunction with other strategies like a balanced diet, regular exercise, and mindful lifestyle choices.
It's not about relying just on our genes, right?
Right.
But it's using this knowledge as like a springboard
Exactly.
to make more informed decisions and
Yeah.
empowered choices.
And remember, personalization isn't just about genetics.
Right.
It's about listening to your body, paying attention to its signals,
Mm-hmm.
and making choices that support your individual needs and goals.
Yeah.
It's about being an active participant
Right.
in your own health journey.
Taking ownership of our well-being and becoming like the architects of our own health.
Exactly. And recognizing that health is a dynamic process, not a destination.
Right.
It's a lifelong journey of learning, experimenting, and adapting
Yeah.
to the ever-changing landscape of our internal and external environments.
It's not about perfection. It's about embracing the journey and making choices that align with our values
Right.
and aspirations.
And remember, even small changes can make a big difference over time.
Yeah.
Start with one area that resonates with you,
Oh.
whether it's experimenting with different foods, trying a new form of exercise,
Mhm.
or simply paying more attention to your sleep habits
Yeah.
and see how your body responds.
It's taking those small, consistent
Yeah.
steps, right?
Exactly.
In the direction of optimal well-being.
And don't be afraid to seek guidance from qualified professionals who can help you navigate this complex and exciting world of personalized health.
This has been a really insightful deep dive.
It has.
I feel like I've learned a lot today
Me too.
and gained a whole new perspective on how to approach my health.
It is inspiring to see how this field is evolving
Yeah.
and offering so much potential for improving our lives.
Before we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I have one final question for you, our listener, to ponder.
Okay.
If you had a detailed blueprint of your body's nutritional needs and predispositions, would you change your approach to food and fitness?
Interesting.
And what implications would that have on your overall well-being?
Yeah,
Something to think about.
for sure.
Maybe while you're enjoying a meal or planning your next workout.
Yeah, that's great.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep
Exactly.
into the fascinating world of you.
And remember, the most powerful tool you have in your health journey is knowledge.
That's right.
So keep asking questions, keep seeking information, and keep striving to become the healthiest, most vibrant version of yourself.